Well, it's the middle of May. Seemed like a good time to make a garden update. That's this time on It's time to water the plants. Now that everything's watered, let's see what's in the greenhouse. On my last video, this was the Bonnie original tomato plant that I planted. It seems to be doing alright. Got a few blooms on it, so hopefully I'll get some tomatoes out of it. That's my lemon thyme right there. It's doubled in size since I planted it. There's my second Roma tomato plant. It's has doubled in size as well since I planted. This is my cinnamon basil. Having a real fight with them trying to keep the flowers from forming, so it'll keep putting into the leaves, but it's coming along good. Here's a lemon boy tomato plant. It's the biggest of them all right now. I had one planted in the oak barrel last year. Got one tomato out of it that was really good. I'm hoping this year there's 3 blooms. Maybe I'll get 3. And then the last one, I wanted to round it out. Tried 4 different kinds. It's an heirloom tomato called a Brandywine. It's the youngest of them all. It's only a couple of weeks old, but it's pretty much doubled in size as well. I have kale. Swiss chard, I'm sorry. I keep saying kale. It's a Swiss chard. It's coming along good. Here's my lemon tree from inside that was from last year that didn't do anything. It lost all of its leaves, and I didn't think it was going to do anything this year, but it's put on all these leaves. At one point it did have some blooms, but they've fallen off. They were on that one right there. Now on to the other side. Here is Toscano strawberries in a hanging plant, so they can be moved where the sunlight is. I have 3 lettuce plants that are coming along nicely. That one back there seems to be doing really good. This one right here is a basil plant. It seems to be kind of happy. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over there 6 broccoli plants. They were doing pretty good. They were hiding really good from the bugs, but just recently the bugs found them because I've been having to leave the door open to keep it cool in here. But hopefully I'll be able to figure out a way to stop that. Aloe vera plant, friend gave me to see if the sun might help it. It's not getting worse, but it's not getting better. The one thing I actually planted and tried to grow this year is another basil plant. It's coming up slowly but surely. This is a regular old, what is this? This is a regular old sweet pepper, green sweet pepper plant. This one is a yellow bell sweet pepper. I probably should have put them on that level because I was thinking they could grow up, but I'm thinking those might grow up higher than the ceiling. Here is, sorry it's backwards, my chocolate mint. Rub your fingers on it, smell it. It smells like mint with just a little bit of chocolate. There's another basil plant, another strawberry plant, and yet another strawberry plant. So that's all that I have in the greenhouse. Now let's contrast this to what's outside. Outside I originally put in 6 lettuce plants, but this one got a disease and I had to pull it out before it passed to the other ones and throw it away. They didn't water much yesterday because it was really pretty cool for May, so they're sort of wilted. They're coming along all right. Not as big as the ones inside, but they're all right. This is another pepper plant. There are 2. These have really bad bugs out here, and I put in these to try to deter them, but it doesn't seem to work much. There's another basil plant that's growing better than I realized. Second basil plant out here. Then the really disappointing one. Sorry, the sun's very glary out here today, but if you can see, I think you can see that, and then that. Those were the other 2 broccoli plants that got bugs on them, and they ate everything on them. So that's why I was saying the ones in the greenhouse have been hiding pretty good. And this is another Roma tomato plant, which grew really well last year in the heat. But I also had a cover over it last year that I haven't got around to figuring out how to put up this year. So I need to do that. Here's the box of ornamental plants. They were doing pretty good until the cold snap hit. And these were the same as those over there, which are the yellow marigolds. They're not doing too good in here, and this was really pretty up to a couple of days ago until it got cold. And then everything else is just sort of surviving. But I think once again it must be this too much sun, because out here in front these are flourishing, and they're in the shade, as you can tell, from this big tree. So it's flourishing really well right now, which is alright because this is what people can see from the deck and everything. So if they look pretty, that's good. Well, I originally thought I was going to take this barrel, fill it up with more sod, and put plants like that in it. But I soon realized that and the one out front were enough, and that this thing needed to be up higher so that I could get the rainwater out of it with some sort of pressure. It's getting really low. It rained last month and hasn't rained since, so I'm down to probably there. So that's why I'm using it sparingly. In fact, I'm actually watering this stuff out here with water from the hose, because, well, they're not doing that good. My 2 new additions to the greenhouse are my sensing light. It actually runs off of solar power. Yes, I know I have a 50% shade on there, but even with that, it still gets enough sun every day to keep that thing working for the few minutes that I come and check on it every night. And then the biggest addition so far is my swamp cooler. It's smaller than I originally expected it to be, which turned out to be pretty good. but it's actually doesn't cool as well, but I think it'll be alright for the summer. It's rather small. Most of them have at least 4 vents. That would have put it against the tree, the gate, so I didn't want that. It puts out pretty cool weather. Cool air, as long as it's below 30% humidity, which usually when it gets up into the 90s and 100s around Lubbock, it's down around 10% humidity. It raises the humidity level in the greenhouse to about 30%, which is what it's thing to. So it's been doing its job lately. This is one of the first things I put up, trying to keep it cool in the greenhouse, and I pretty much forgot I hadn't shown y'all yet. This is my 50% sunshade. It's white to reflect the sun back up so the heat doesn't get in it. And I actually did a good job of putting this one down, where before I just tied them up, got bungee cords holding it all down everywhere. One last thing that I think kind of classes the place up. My neighbor across the alley there is a landscape architect, and apparently they either put some AstroTurf fence for somebody or pulled some out for somebody. They just threw it in the alley and left it there. So I grabbed it, cut it to the size I need, put it on the side over here. Really brightens the place up to me. So I appreciate them doing that. I hope they were throwing it away, because I absconded with it. Shh, don't tell anybody. Went to Fredericksburg, Texas a couple of weeks ago to pick some strawberries. I now know that the strawberries you pick at Fredericksburg and the strawberries you get in the supermarket are pretty much the same. Actually, the ones in the store are bigger and prettier. But I now know. But while we were gone, one of the worst sandstorms in recent memory hit Lubbock. Luckily, while we were gone. But when we got back, everything had a not so thin layer of dust on top of it. And I've been trying to vacuum it all out and stuff, but it's just almost impossible to get it. This drought's just really messing with us right now. But everything seems to be happy in the greenhouse and growing well. So I guess that's it for this updated version of the Gadget Gardener. Have a good day.